I just happened to luckily be stationed over in part of Africa that was close to where Captain Phillips was. I had a small team. I think we had I had 3 SEALs, myself, Jonas Kelsall was over there kind of running things from an officer standpoint, a couple Army guys, a couple Air Force guys, and we were out. I was with one other guy. We were down in another country, and the boss calls me. He's like, "Hey, are you watching the news?" Again, watching the news. I'm like, "Fuck, I'm in a goddamn third world country. No, yeah. I'm down here doing
trying to jerk off, and you're fucking with it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to have a good time here. Yeah. But he called me. He's like, "Check out the news." I'm like, "First, do you want me to come back?" Because it's like 8 o'clock at night in another country. I'm like, "I'm not flying tonight anyway, regardless, unless they send a bird to get me." Like, no, there's nothing we can do at this point. He says, watch the news. Watch the news and come back to the hotel and kind of see what was going on. Got fired up our mobile system and kind of get caught up as much as I could. So next morning, first airplane we could get out of there, flew back up to base and got debriefed with the boss at the embassy, and he said go, and we grabbed the team, and kind of a hassle to get from the city we were in to the airport that closes down, no flights after dark, and we got there kind of at dark, traffic and everything else, it's just a pain in the ass. Got there dark, jumped on one of our birds, flew to a forward staging base. From there, got our parachutes and got everything else, and thankfully the aircraft we were on is completely set up for radar and ISR and comm, so we were getting live updates as much as we could, and we basically had one shot to jump in, and before we were either out of gas or they were out of range. And as things would happen, we got out there, and it's a typical thunderstorm over the Indian Ocean in the middle of summer, right? So clouds, and we could see kind of where the ship was at, and then Matt, my Air Force guy, was talking to the ship. These guys had never done a night jump, never recovered parachutes out of so we're talking through emails, telling them how to do this thing, how to set up the boats in the wind and everything else. And pilot's like, "Hey, there might be an opening coming up, but we've got about 3 minutes on station, 5 minutes maybe on station before we got to turn around." And luckily we had just enough of a gap in the clouds to see a ship. And so I said, go. We jumped out, and luckily once we broke through the clouds, and we were actually where we were supposed to be. So got lucky on a lot of fronts that everything worked out. But we got out there and got on the ship, and as an E8, and Jonas was it might have been 04 at that point, 03, 04, young 04 if he was 04. We climb on the ship, and the captain's like, "What do you guys want us to do?" Like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "My orders were you guys are running the ship."
No shit.
Yeah. So, as an E8, and, luckily I tell this, going back, I tell all of my new students or candidates, I'm like, "Hey, always treat everybody in the military with respect, because you never know when you're going to run across them." Just so happens the guy that was the master chief of the boat was the guy I was in boot camp with.
No shit.
Boot camp or SEAL Team 4, one of these, like a tech.
Yeah.
I climb over the boat. He's like, "Terry, are you fucking shitting me?" So he's like,
"The fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, he's
the
like,
fuck are you doing here?"
He's like, "What do you need?" I'm like, "Well," we sort of running off things. I was like, "Give me the update. What's going on?" So I was on the Bain Bridge and just kind of dealt with the situation as much as we could. And it was interesting because I had no idea how to hostage negotiate. So we had an interpreter with us, and we were on the phone with the FBI back in New York, kind of trying to negotiate with these guys. We could see where Captain Phillips was at this point. He'd already jumped off one time, so they had him kind of tied up. So we did a pseudo mission out there, give him some food and some water just to kind of confirm where Captain Phillips was and see where he's at in the boat. Because on that lifeboat, for anybody that hasn't seen this thing, there's windows at the top, and that's it. Like a little cubby on top, and you can't see anything else underneath. So we got in there and gave him some food and some water, some cigarettes, and kind of figured out where Captain Phillips was. And then it was turned into like cat and mouse. They were trying to get to the shore. We couldn't let them get to the shore because once they got to the shore, it completely changed the complexity of what we're doing. So we would push them back with the ship. The Bain Bridge is a big ass fucking ship, so that little lifeboat was a lot more mobile. So they get around, and then eventually we got in a rib and kind of were chasing them down, putting them back. They would shoot at us. We fucking couldn't shoot back because we didn't know what the fuck we were shooting at. And then eventually we got the Halliburton to launch a helicopter and use the helicopter prop wash to kind of spin them around and push them back out to sea.
Were they not trying to shoot the helicopter?
No, I mean, fucking Smalley, they didn't know what the fuck they're doing. All they wanted to do is get their prize and get back to shore so they can get some more cot. And they were, they're out of cot, so they're fucking losing their mind. They're kind of going with withdrawals and all that shit. Like, you can imagine most dippers go to when they start.
Yeah, times 1,000.
Yeah, times 1,000. So.
Yeah. Well, for those listening, so cod is an opioid based chewing tobacco like substance that a lot of the men in a lot of Middle East countries get all fucked up on, and by dinner time, half the fucking population is high as a fucking kite.
Yeah, nothing. You can't get anything done.
Yeah, so that was the biggest driving force. How close did you guys get when you did the food and cig delivery?
Oh, I mean, we were
right there with them.
Yeah, right there.
And they didn't try anything fucking squirrely, and you guys didn't.
No, I mean, and we were in our Navy uniforms, and we borrowed some uniforms and stuff, so. We had weapons in the boat with us, but we were not going to try to do anything. We just wanted to see what was going on, try to confirm that he was good, where he's at, how many guys are on the lifeboat and everything else.
Yeah.
Thinking back, could we have done anything? Maybe, but they had AKs and they're already ready to go by the time we get something. Just odds weren't in our favor.
Yeah.
So we did this for about a day and a half, I think, until Red came in and saved the day. If you watch the movie or reading the books, they're the ones that saved the day, but. Inside story is we were there way before those guys, but yeah, it was funny because as I'm talking to the captain and they're flying over, he's like, "Okay, what do you got, Terry? What's going on?" You got to give him the updates, and he's like, "Okay, we'll be there in like 12 hours or whatever it was," and they jump in and they get over there, and he's "Okay, Terry, so what's I don't even remember. It's like 4 days I didn't get any sleep. It's like, okay, what do you need? I'm like, just send me like 6 snipers, and it's pretty calmed down by now. We can kind of figure out what's going on. It's like, okay, it's a good idea. We're going to send a squadron or send a troop over. And I knew it was coming. Like, there's no way in hell they're going to let Jonas and myself run this thing when you got a whole squadron sitting over there. So so those guys came over. I told the guys, I'm like, okay, we did turnover. Told them what's going on. Jay Bird and his guys. I'm like, hey, it's yours. We're going to get some sleep because we've been fucking run off fumes. And for whatever reason, I decided to, slept for a couple hours, got up. I started walking through the back to the like the helicopter area, and like, I might as well grab my gun just in case, go see what's going on. I got out the back, and at that point, it was, just about time to get the game on. There's a lot of stuff that went in between there, but I got paired up with one of the red snipers, and like, okay, you guys got this guy, you guys got this guy, and you guys got that guy. If we ever get a chance to get 100% confirmed that we can do it, get them all one shot, we'll do it. And we played the cat and mouse, like the old video game, or not the video game, but the smack the weasel, one would pop up.
Whack-a-mole.
Yeah, whack-a-mole. It's like one would pop up and 2 would go down. It's like, God damn it. And 2 would pop up and then 1 would go. It's like, God damn it.
Yeah, so I would love to get into a little bit of the complexities of that shot or set of shots in particular. And you like most team guys have a tendency to brush over a lot of the finite details. But, to me, like...
Well, I should probably let the mythology of the underway sniper shot that's 1,000 yards fucking.
Well, I mean, to me, the all of the circumstances piled together create a pretty ridiculous scenario to be able to pull that off. And if you could kind of walk, imagine a lot of the people listening right now have never been on a Navy ship. Have no idea what sniper operations are. So if you could kind of set it up from like the 30,000 foot view first, and then kind of walk through the actions on.
Yeah, so I guess if you want to imagine something, like the back of the whirlpool. When the whirlpool's going, bubbles going over, that's what the back of a ship looks like when it's going underway. And we're probably like 15, 20 knots. We're moving, but it's not crazy. So you got the waves coming in. It's Indian Ocean, so you got waves anyway. So what we did is we were able to get them to tie on and pull them underway because they were out of gas. And, again, they're losing their mind with their cot and everything else. We got them underway. At this point, we'd already had one of their guys that got hurt on the boat with us, so we knew there was 3 guys in there. And as night falls, what we started doing is slowly cranking them in. So we had them underway. They started a couple hundred yards behind us, what it was, 100 yards or what it was. So we slowly kind of pull them in to where they're, I don't know, like 35, 50 yards behind us at this point. So now they're underway, and where they are in a wake, it's still enough to keep them moving and keep them sick and just generally be a bad day for them. Yeah. Because what we were trying to do is drive them to come up and get fresh air. So we would do that, and it eventually kind of moved them in. And when I went out, the squadron, Chris and those guys had them lined up like, okay, here's snipers. They're all paired up. Everybody was paired up with one of the bad guys. And we would be on comms and lasers and everything else.
So at that point, did you know like who's who? Like were the bad guys labeled like this is bad guy one?
Well, we
two,
knew
three?
there was two in the pilot house that would trade positions, and then one guy up front that would pop up every now and then. So there was a hatch in the very bow of the lifeboat that was open, and one guy would pop up there, and then he would go down, and then the steering wheel for the lifeboat's up in that little cockpit pilot house. So now it was all surrounded by plexiglass, so you could see it. So we would see two guys back there, and then the guy up front, and we just transfer off. So Jeff and his guy had the guy up front, myself, Clint had this guy, and then the other pair had the other guy. We were just talking like, okay, here my guys up. You know, we had lasers on, so we had night vision, they didn't, so we could have lasers on. We would put lasers on anytime we saw the guy. I'm like, okay, ready. No, we're not set up. So this went on for seems like a while before it was like, oh shit, my guy's up, and everybody's like, hey, we're red, we're good. Let's So then we got the countdown and
so all three guys were above the the hatch.
Yeah, the guy in the front was up. He had his chest up out of the hatch, and two guys in the wheelhouse were sitting there so you could see their heads. And yeah.
And so what was the count? Well, two things. How was the setup on the? Were you guys on the fantail?
Yeah, we were on the fantail. We're on the back of the boat.
ship.
Yep.
And there was three sniper pairs. Were you guys like laying right next to each other, or was it?
Pretty close. Like, so the two pairs that had the guys in the wheelhouse, we were right next to each other. So we were talking on comms, but we were also right there talking to each other. And then the other guys were off to our right, which would be the port side of the ship, to the guy that had a better angle at him. But yeah, we were just set up there, and there were some assaulters there too. I don't know if they ever shot or not, but
so they were all like, you guys were all just prone on the back of a ship,
yeah.
fucking guns pointed at these assholes.
Prone, just waiting, and it was like a damn stadium, and everybody was out there.
Yeah, a bunch of the crew from the ship and everything, or what?
I don't know about them. I didn't really pay attention to them. They stayed out of our way for the most part. They made a great job, man. Everybody on the ship was awesome, but
yeah,
it was like you got a whole troop of guys, squadron guys out there just.
So I'm imagining so that's like 30 some dudes, right?
Well, a troop at that point, so we had two teams and their sniper team, so there's probably 20 of us total out there. Yeah.
But to me, like I can't help but feel that there had to have been some sense of going back to day one of boot camp when you're standing behind the masking tape on the pisser floor line saying fucking piss, and you're like, I can't piss when you're fucking still like. Yeah. That many dudes, that kind of pressure staring, like that had to add to it, right? You got a whole squadron of motherfuckers standing behind you, like.
But I mean, at this point, shit, I'd already had, I don't know, 15 or not 15, but 10 deployments.
Yeah.
Plenty of firefight. I mean, so shooting a gun at a target was.
But I guess just with your boys fucking standing there watching, like.
I've probably only been awake for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I woke up and get my gun, walk out there, look, I had my shit on, and Chris was like, hey, lay down here. You can help with this guy.
Yeah. What gun was that?
That was a 416.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did everybody have that, or was it a mixed match?
I think most people did, because everybody jumped in, so we didn't pull any long guns or anything crazy.
Yeah. Do you know about what range it was? I'm right around 1,000.
Probably, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's good 2 miles. Like the Canadian guys, it's like, oh, it was 5,000 meters. Like,
5,000 meters.
Yeah. They get it's like the running joke in the sniper world. They've got all the world records for sniper shots. I'm like, dude, you're just fucking launching rounds at the mountainside, and somebody fell down.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. No, he was probably like, I shouldn't pop the burst the bubble 50 yards or so, somewhere in there, 50, 75 maybe. Yeah. It's hard to tell at night sometimes.
Yeah. So, but it was at night.
Yeah.
You guys were on nods with lasers.
Yeah.
But to me,
it wasn't. I don't think to me it wasn't a difficult shot.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Yeah. It was the fucking hardest shot in my life.
Yeah. Wait, edit this.
Yeah. We get this 1,000-yard stare.
Well, I mean, to me, there's a factor there though that I.
Oh, there is. I mean,
I don't think
we're moving. The lifeboat's moving. You got waves going by. Everything's moving.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
I guess because we train at such a level all the time that. Like I find my target and I'm tracking my target, and I pay attention to what I'm doing, and I'm not worried about what other people are doing because I know they're going to do their job as well.
Yeah.
I just got to carry my own weight.
Yeah. All right. So it's middle of the night. All three of these motherfuckers are presenting themselves. You guys are queued up. You do the countdown. Mm-hmm. Was it like from 10 or 5?
No, just regular 3, 2, 1, execute, like typical.
And in terms of the shots, I mean, did they all go pretty much at the exact same time? Or
I mean, it was fast.
Yeah, no stagger at all.
I don't recall any. It was like shot, and I double tap, Clint double tap, and I'm like, by the time I was done and my guy fell, I'm like, there was all quiet.
Yeah. I mean, to me, like the gravity of how big of a deal that was, and for me, to be able to sit here and have one of the guys that did that tell the fucking story is pretty special, man. Like, I mean, it's an honor to. To sit here and have you.
Well, it's
have
funny.
You tell
Like
that story.
everybody that asked me about Captain Phillips, I'm like, well, you saw me in a movie, right?
Yeah.
Like the big, tall, good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Like
6'4",
Yeah.
230.
Like even in the book, like our whole, and it's sad because the main squadron got all the recognition. So like my handful of guys, like ragtag group of guys, didn't get a lot of recognition back at the command. Guys knew we were there, but didn't really know
that you guys were the ones that actually did it.
Well, I mean, when it came to finally resolving, that was a squadron. I just happened to be there as well. I don't think the rest of my guys, they were there watching it, but they didn't participate in the shooting side of it. But if we weren't there, before the squadron got there, then those guys would make landfall or something else would have happened. So we played a pretty critical role in that situation.